Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Let's understand about the insulin like growth factor 1. So what is this? So basically it is known as the IGF1. So what is the insulin like growth factor 1? So here is the node. So you can see through the screen. So I am showing that here. So the insulin like growth factor 1 is a protein that play a crucial role in cell growth, differentiation and survival. Basically the survival of the cell. In this way, basically the maintenance of your muscle, maintenance of your bone density and a lot more things, basically anabolism. So basically the anabolic pathway will trigger due to the insulin growth factor 1. So the function we will discuss first, then we will understand the regulation. So the regular cell growth and the proliferation, the inhibit cell death. So the apoptosis will inhibit. In this way the maintenance, survival of the cell will maintain, but the too much excessive production of the IGF1 will lead to cause breast cancer and a lot more cancer. But just think about that if you are doing the exercise. So in this way, no problem. Remember, if you are a calorie restriction and fasting, so the fasting also trigger the IGF1, but it will also work for the normal cell, not the oncogenetic cell or other cancer causing cell proliferation, progression, which that will prevent due to the AMPK pathway activation. Anyhow, the enhance muscle growth and strength, so also the support bone growth and density, and involve in neuronal growth and the development. So remember, the neurodegenerative disease like the Alzheimer, Huntington, Parkinson disease, memory loss, dementia, brain fog, basically is the all type of the brain related, the neural, basically the nervous system related disease will prevent by this IGF1. Remember, and the process primarily in the liver, so it will process primarily in the liver autocrinally, and which that also trigger in the muscle, so autocrinally, so the also paracrinally, but it will also enter into the blood, and in this is the IGF1 binding protein which that will work for transportation. Regulation is that produced in response to growth hormone, the stimulation, and the regulation by the nutrient availability. So in this way, the glucose or amino acid inhibited by insulin like growth factor, basically binding protein. So this inhibited by the, basically again is the regulation is that the produced in response to growth hormone. So remember, and it means that fasting is important to trigger the growth hormone, ketogenic diet and exercise and caloric restriction. So regulation by nutrient availability like glucose and amino acids. So amino acids should be more. In this, the insulin like growth factor 1 will increase. Inhibited by insulin like growth factor binding protein. So it will inhibit due to the insulin like growth factor binding protein. But anyhow, this basically health implication is that the muscle wasting prevention, the growth hormone deficiency prevention, because the IGF1 whenever the growth hormone will decrease, so the IGF1 will increase whenever you will fasting. So it is also the alternate form of the growth hormone, the same function like a growth hormone. That is why it is known as the insulin like growth factor 1. So anyhow, basically it is hormonal deficiency, diabetes. So whenever it will prevent the diabetes, so whenever it will decrease, so the diabetes can be occur, cancer, so the prostate and breast cancer and the neurodegenerative disease. So anyhow, remember this basically the cancer is prevention also whenever you will fasting. But remember about that, IGF1 spike will lead to cause prostate cancer and breast cancer. But just important thing is that it will not. The very last study which that shows. But on the other hand, the neurodegenerative disease prevention. So this is the health implication, which that basically the diabetes. So the diabetes is important whenever you will intake the metformin. So the metformin will spike the insulin like growth factor 1, which that basically function for the normal metabolism of the glucose. The food source is the dairy products which that spike the, for example, milk and cheese, and meat can be a beef and chicken, fish can be a salmon and tuna, eggs is the egg also. So plant-based sources is soy and spinach, while the supplementation also the IGF1 injection, which that also get the health benefit. But remember about that, I am recommending to you, don't use the insulin like growth factor 1 injection, because whenever you will inject, so the internal processing, the internal natural production of the IGF1 will decrease. So I hope you make sense about that. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. For this, bye. Allah Hafiz.